high temperature is going to be a warm one today. We'll get up near 75 degrees. As you head through the evening, mostly clear skies. That overnight low is not going to be as bad as it's been over the past few days. We'll only get down around 47. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
I want to see the kind of industries that are opening up.
This is Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Local Biz Now.
You have to determine what is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now, because your business matters.
Welcome to Local Biz Now. I am not Joe Vagnone. Patrick Reynolds in for Joe Vagnone. Second time in only 10 plus years, Joe has not hosted Local Biz Now. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But Joe, I hope you're watching, hope you're listening. I hope you feel better soon. Patrick Reynolds in for you this afternoon. And welcome to the #1 talk business show in North Carolina. That was my best Joe Vagnone impression right there. We are coming to you live from the Burners Cigar Studio. I love having a sponsor for the studio. Burners Cigar, home of the premium cigars and cigar smokers of the world. There's great people and premium cigars. I was wondering if that might be premium people and great cigars as well. It seems like we're top-notch all around with Burners, but life is good at Burners Cigars, located in Birkdale Village, just a short walk from here at studio right here in Cornelius with WSIC. As we want to give your week started inspired, informed, and entertained, because that's what Joe does. And I'm going to try to keep carrying the baton here for this Monday afternoon here at WSIC Radio. 105.9 FM around Lake Norman, 100.7 and 1400 AM in Iredell County, anywhere in the world on the World Wide Web at WSIC's website, as well as the socials. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, just everywhere on the WSIC world. As I said, I'm Patrick Reynolds in for Joe Vagnone, soon to be either imprisoned or famous. I don't know where Joe's going to be soon, but yes, I'm honored to sit in for him at Local Biz Now. This show, the longest running live business show from WSIC. What have they got? Over 10 years strong. As I said, this is only the second show Joe has missed. We've got well over 800 small business owners and community leaders have been interviewed on this show, and over 450 videos of all the interviews can be seen on the tubes. Joe's got, as his words, not mine, his sexy YouTube channel. We're also live on Facebook. We'll take your questions there. I got my phone over here on the side. We'll try to keep track of that, but usually the factotum of the company, Julie, keeps track of that. Everybody needs a Julie. Joe's got a Julie. You need a Julie. Everybody needs a Julie. And I've been waiting to say this for a lot of years. You're listening to Local Biz Now because if it's Monday afternoon, your business matters. Joe, I hope you're watching, and I hope I did the tagline well for you. I wanted to do my first time to be in front of Joe. He's not even here in the studio with that. I have actually coached other people on how to say your business matters. But there's a technique to it. I hope to get into it next week, next Monday with Joe. Those of you that know, we've got a co-host every single month. And for the month of November, I'm pleased to announce that this month's co-host is me, Patrick Reynolds. I am the co-host, but today Joe called this morning, have a little illness from something that happened over the weekend. He is under the weather, so get well soon, Joe. I hope you're feeling okay. I'm not sure whether to tease you on air. I would like to, but as soon as you're feeling better, we're definitely going to lean into you on that. So we've got some great conversations set up today for Local Biz Now, taking care of the community. Our first guest today, to my right, your left on the cameras, Dennis Bilodeau. He's the candidate for mayor for the town of Cornelius. Those that know the show well. Joe is a big supporter of Mr. Bilodeau, and I know Joe would say he's very confident that I am talking right now to the next mayor of the town of Cornelius. Dennis Bilodeau, welcome to Local Biz Now.
Well, thank you, Patrick. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here on election eve.
Election Eve.
Election Eve. And, I have to say, I think this is the first time you and I have talked indoors. We're usually out at a Taba walk or some sort of fair outside with music blasting. So you look different here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll probably get into a little bit of info about myself. Joe told me, he goes, hey, we'll interview you next week so the audience knows who you are. But I'll throw the 30-second elevator version out here now. Patrick Reynolds with Waves Entertainment. You may know me on the speaking circuit, MC and host of many events and local concerts around the area, Lake Norman area, the Tobawalks, the Second Friday Street Festivals in Cornelius, as well as Birkdale Village, Langtree Live in Mooresville. We've got a concert series down in Ballantyne. I spend a lot of time on stages in front of an audience with a microphone, so stepping in here to the studios, I actually got my start with all of this right here at WSIC 13 years ago in Statesville.
Yeah. Well, you do an excellent job.
Thanks.
I got to tell you that I've been to a lot of events, and you bring energy to the stage. You bring it on. So this is a unique election this year.
Sure.
As you probably know, there has not been a contested run for mayor in 15 years. Our current mayor has never been opposed. And we went through 4 seasons last week. During early election. It started Thursday at 80-degree weather. Moved into the following week. We were down 29 degrees one morning. So we've been through the hot, the cold, and we're ready to go. We're pumped up about tomorrow's election.
I knew all those weather changes were going to happen. Do you know how I knew? Because I listened to the Joe Berg forecasts right here on WSIC, Ace Weatherman.
That's
for
smart.
Joe Berg. Yeah. If you listen to Joe, he knows. So there you go. I knew about the weather. However, thank you for the compliments on the energy I bring to the concerts.
Yes.
You're looking to bring energy to this election tomorrow. You see what I did there?
Yes.
See how I did that?
Yes,
Pretty smooth.
that was beautiful. It's been a great week. The early voting is at a record number. We're up 30%, in terms of folks coming out. I'd like to attribute it to having a mayor's race. That may or may not be true, but I'm certainly going to take credit for that. And at the end of the day, what we're looking at is voters coming out, and the great thing about it is meeting people, talking to them, listening to what is the hot topic on their mind. And I've met an awful lot of people, shaked a lot of babies, kissed a lot of hands. So we're
You didn't really swap those over, did you?
No.
Shaking babies.
Shaking babies.
Oh, not a good way to get votes. But
No.
I know he's kidding.
Yeah.
So, have you seen? I guess what I want to ask about this is you taking the heat, because when you step in as a candidate for any office, or you do take a certain amount of heat here, versus the amount of people complaining or have complained for 2 years, 4 years, 10, 20 years as the development of Cornelius. That seems to have been the hot topic. Have you felt the heat in the complaints from the local community of Cornelius?
Well, the issue continues to be traffic, and
Yep.
the impression that we're overbuilt and that we need to slow things down. So when you look at the incumbents, and there's 2 of us that are not running. Obviously, Mr. Gilroy and I are moving on to other issues, if you will, or things to do. But there's still the top 2 being traffic. So when folks come up, what are you going to do about traffic? What are you going to do about slowing down the growth? And I think, having the answers, having really slowed things down from high density residential over the past 2 years, there's a good response that we can give them. That things are different now, things have changed. And I know we'll get into this, but I have my thoughts about what we ought to do about traffic and NCDOT and their slow approach.
Mm-hmm. Election Eve, you're listening to Local Biz Now. We are talking with Dennis Bilodeau here in the WSIC studios. We're going to talk more about the Cornelius election very shortly. You are listening to Local Biz Now, 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. We'll be back right after this.
Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone will return after this short break on the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Santa's coming to town. Come out to Birkdale Village from 2 to 7 p.m. next Saturday, the 18th. Activity Row, Birkdale on Ice, beer garden, dance performances, and the tree lighting parade. Dance away the end of the night with live music. Saturday, November 18th. The fun begins at 2 p.m. and the tree lighting ceremony starts at 6. For more info, visit BirkdaleVillage.com. Love bingo? $1 bingos this Friday starting at 1:30 at the Iredale Senior Center. That's at 344 East Front Street. Bring $1 and your own snacks to play. $1 bingo this Friday, 1:30 to 3:30, Iredale Senior Center. Ever wanted to witness a time capsule installation? Huntersville is having a special time capsule installation December 2nd at Veterans Park during their Huntersville Christmas celebration. I wonder what will be in the time capsule. Make plans to attend now. Visit huntersville.org for more info. December 2nd, a special time capsule installation in Huntersville. Singer-songwriter Mitch Russell is coming to Kane Center for the Arts this Saturday. You may know Mitch from America's Got Talent or from Garth Brooks' 2022 Stadium Tour. Buy your tickets before they sell out. kanearts.org. Country music artist Mitch Russell this Saturday. Doors open at 7 p.m. kanearts.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Eat, drink, be merry at the Renaissance Festival. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies through your afternoon. That high temperature is going to be a warm one today. We'll get up near 75 degrees. As you head through the evening, mostly clear skies. That overnight low is not going to be as bad as it's been over the past few days. We'll only get down around 47. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
It's Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to Local Biz Now. Patrick Reynolds in for Joe Vagnone this week, who is a little under the weather. Joe, if you are listening, I hope you are. I hope you feel better soon. Look forward to be back here in the studio with you next Monday. Alongside me for this afternoon, candidate for the mayor of Town of Cornelius on election eve. Great to talk to you, Dennis Bilodeau in the studios. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know you must be a very busy man the night before the election.
Yeah, it's planting signs, shaking a few hands, getting those last jabs in that you can. But pleasure to be here.
Good to have you with us. Simple question. We talked about this out in the lobby before we came in. We were chatting a little bit there. As a resident of the town of Cornelius, which I'm not, but if I were, simple question to you: why should I vote for Dennis Bilodeau for mayor?
Yeah, and that's a question I hear a lot these
Sure.
days. And it's interesting, and I think that is part of the reason that folks would be asking that is that they haven't seen a mayor's race and are wondering, so what are the differences between you and the current mayor? And honestly, we're friends. I consider Woody a friend. We've worked together for a long time on many, many important projects, not the least of which is the Kane Center for the Arts. From day one, we've worked on that together. But what people should understand is that even though there's this friendly competition, if you will, we differ in a couple of areas, a couple of key areas that I believe that citizens should make a choice, should look at it and say, which side do I believe I should stand on? And the first one that comes to mind came out at a budget meeting back in May, where I believe because of the revaluation and the increase in the value of properties, that we should keep a revenue neutral tax budget for the year. And the mayor was in a different place. He at first came out with a 2 penny, which sounds pretty mild, but it meant a double-digit increase in terms of what people would see for tax. But all around us, we were hearing about, the cost of goods going up, the county raising their tax. And when you look at the two numbers that are important on your tax, it's not only the rate where people say, well, we have the lowest rate in the area. That may be true, but we also received the highest property value increase. So you put those two together, and in my case, for example, I have a 30% increase in my property tax. So the negotiated, and this is something, again, that we do as a board. Unlike the federal government or even the state, we don't run right to the edge of the cliff and wait till the last minute to approve a budget. So you'll see that there's a lot of discussion that happens within the board discussion. The mayor is setting the tone and trying to come to an agreement that we can move forward so everyone knows what the budget's going to look like before we get to the 11th hour. So number one difference between the mayor and I are, I'd like to see a little more a fiscal, responsibility in terms of not just taxing when we don't really need to tax at this particular time. And I say that because we've had 6 years of a profit, if you will. We've had a surplus to our budget for 6 years that totaled $24 million. So if you ever go back to look at that May 1st budget meeting, you'll see where I was asking to, let's just pump the brake for this time. Let's take a look at what this new reval will do to us, and we still would be in good shape.
I wanted to say something as well, just throw in my personal 2 cents here, is I know Woody Washam as well, friend of mine as well. I know Dennis Bilodeau, friend of mine as well, not a Cornelius resident. This would be a very deep topic for me if I was a resident of the town. I like you both. I mentioned to Dennis off air, as like, I wish I had a shot to have Woody on air as well before the election as well, just to speak to both of you about your platforms as well. Something else that you've heard a lot of feedback, I guess we'll call feedback / backlash / energy. Your latest ad that has appeared in print. I believe it was the Cornelius Times?
Cornelius Today.
Cornelius Today, excuse me.
Cornelius Today, yes. Yeah, I decided to put out there some of the differences. All through the early voting out, folks would come up to me and say, so where do you and Woody differ in terms of, your opinion on how the town should be managed? And of course, the quotes that I put in the ad were direct and can be found. They're recorded, so you can actually go to either a town hall meeting or a place where you can see the actual back and forth or discussion. And at the end of the day, that's what I was trying to get across, is that this is not taking shots. This is discussing in a forum that people can sit back and read, and if they want to go further, they can go to those meetings and pull up the video and take a look at the differences, as I mentioned, with tax, and then also approach towards traffic. I really do believe that we can be more aggressive with town managed projects. We're waiting for DOT and have been waiting, and there's delay after delay, and the pricing just keeps going up. So we've got some ammunition. We've got some cash that we can use to do road projects. We also, by the way, have $20 million of road bond that we got approved in 2018. So that's getting to the end of its life, that we do need to use that to take care of some of our road projects that we'd like to look at.
So you got us $20 million in road bond. It's 5 years old. To the layman, why has Cornelius not used it? I think traffic is one of, if not the biggest complaint amongst the citizens in the community here. I'm not a resident, but I spend a lot of time at Cornelius. Sure. I can testify to that. What is the holdup? Why are we not using it?
Yeah, in a word, or to look at that, I'd say it's NCDOT. The idea was, let's get the bonds approved. We can do the corridor projects like the Highway 115, 73, West Catawba. And at the time, we needed road bonds to go ahead and pay our portion of it. And it was a really desirable small portion, with DOT paying a lot of it. Of course, we found out that DOT has run out of cash. When I started with the CRTPO, which is the planning organization, they were claiming that DOT was $7 billion in the hole just in our region. So things had to be delayed, and that bond was sitting there. The latest round of delays just caused me to say, it's enough. There are areas in our town that we can handle. They're smaller projects, but they mean a lot to citizens who are waiting at a light or can't make a right or left turn because the lanes aren't marked right. So there are some really good projects that we can handle, that we can pay for and manage and get done while we're waiting and while we're pushing NCDOT to move forward with the projects they promised us.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've been on the board for the town of Cornelius for, as long as I've known you, for quite a while, well before we met. Now you step up, you're throwing your hat into the ring for mayor. What was the inspiration to make that step? You've already served the town of Cornelius. You have been, you are, from board member to mayor. What was the push for that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I can see how important the mayor position is. As the mayor, you really are guiding the team. You're looking for consensus. You're setting the agenda. And having been a small business owner, I like to set more urgency around what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. So some of it is style. Some of it is the difference between the mayor and I. The mayor likes task force that carry on month after month, year after year. But as a small business owner, I believe I could bring more urgency. That where we can get citizens' input and move forward. And instead of just waiting and drawing things out. Folks are ready for some transportation fix. They're ready for some things, including amenities, park amenities as well.
Mm-hmm. Voter locations, very important. There's people that want to vote. People are participating. I mentioned the word energy before. It's a big deal about this election. Early voting, all-time. I don't know if it's an all-time high, but it's extremely high, which is a good sign that people are letting their voice be heard here. Where voter locations? Can you enlighten our audience on those for Cornelius?
Sure, absolutely. That's very important because there is a change. With early voting, you're voting, everyone's going to town hall. Mm-hmm. So everyone was familiar just walking over to or driving to town hall. Now there's 4 locations. You have to be in your precinct. So there's still town hall if you're in that area and that's your precinct 202, you go to town hall. There's also Community in Christ Lutheran Church on Norman Island Drive, and that's precinct 240. So if you're in that area near, Sanford Road and towards that end of Cornelius, that's where you go. Jeton Park is the precinct 242. That's up and down Jeton Road, the peninsula, that area. And then last but not least, Bethel Presbyterian on Bethel Church Road. That's the 4th and final place. If you're in that Bethel Church area, you go to precinct 208.
Traffic are the top 3 things I hear for complaints about Cornelius. After we get through traffic, what is the next biggest thing that you hear from the community that they want addressed for Cornelius?
Yeah, I'd say tongue-in-cheek pickleball. But
okay.
That lately, pickleball has been a really hot topic. And that's another one of those quick things that we should be able to fix given our surpluses that we have in the budget year after year. But seriously, the second most important thing, I think, to citizens is safety. And we can do a better job as well. Even though we're waiting for DOT, for example, on West Catawba, we ought to take the initiative to go ahead and put some crosswalks in place. One that comes to mind is near Robbins Park. Mm-hmm. We have a long stretch of sidewalk and a beautiful park that we just need to connect, even if it's a temporary crosswalk. So safety, in terms of the police, Cornelius Police do just such a great job, and we need to pay them properly and support them. But crosswalk safety on the lake, those are things that are really important to our citizens.
Mm-hmm. We have just about 1 minute left with you here. We're coming to you live from Monday afternoon. It is election eve. If you're listening to the show live, Tuesday is election. Where will you be Tuesday evening, and your company, your friends? Where were you going to be Tuesday evening? There's a lot of election parties and gatherings going on tomorrow night.
Well, most of the day Tuesday I'll spend at Jeton Park. My wife will be over at Town Hall, so we're going to meet over at Old Town Public House. My good friend Case Waterman.
Yeah.
It's a place that I've been going for the last 4 elections, and I just think it's comfortable. It's on the side of town that I like to relax after a long day at the polls. So I'll be there at Old Town Public House. We'll be watching the results from 8 p.m. on.
Dennis Bilodeau, candidate for mayor, guest here on Local Biz Now. We'll be right back. Thank you for spending your Monday with us. Talk to you in a moment.
More Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Happening now at Randy Marion Ford in Statesville. Randy Marion in Statesville continues to grow. We have added Mitsubishi on Folger Drive. So what does that mean? That means great deals on a new make and model in Statesville, but it also means Ford Pre-Owned is moved right on Gateway Crossing Drive beside the Ford and Lincoln new car showrooms. So come see us today, Randy Marion Ford Lincoln, pre-owned vehicles, Gateway Crossing Drive.
RandyMarionFord.com.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies through your afternoon. That high temperature is going to be a warm one today. We'll get up near 75 degrees. As you head through the evening, mostly clear skies. That overnight low is not going to be as bad as it's been over the past few days. We'll only get down around 47. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
If you need home medical equipment, call Lowry Drug in Statesville. We have everything you need in stock, including portable oxygen concentrators, CPAPs, masks, lift chairs, wheelchairs, scooters, hospital beds, supplies, and anything else you need. Get it when you need it. Check out LowryDrug.com or call 704-873-2247. Lowry Drug, your hometown source since 1959, across from Iredell Memorial Hospital. We are worth the drive. Come see us.
Listen up, Carolinas. It's the Better Than Black Friday sales event at Lake Norman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with employee pricing on nearly every new 2023 vehicle in stock. We've got the best selection anywhere and guarantee to beat any deal in the nation. I-77 exit 28, LakeNormanChrysler.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Without Prilosec, I wouldn't be able to enjoy all this yummy holiday food. Speaking of, whoever made that apple pie, delicious. Thank you. I just take one pill each morning and zero heartburn all day. So cheers to Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Johnson's Parts and Supply, your auto value auto parts store for 42 years, carries a full line of Wix filters for cars, trucks, and all types of heavy-duty equipment. Johnson's Parts, your auto value auto parts store, 1112 Shelton Avenue, Statesville.
Thought-provoking conversations and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Local Biz Now continues with local entrepreneur Joe Vagnone on WSIC.
Welcome back to Local Biz Now. I am not Joe Vagnone. Patrick Reynolds in for Joe, who's a little bit under the weather. Hope that he gets feeling better soon, and we'll be back here next Monday. Coming to you live from WSIC Radio at the Burner Cigar Studio, who I know they've got a great commercial. Let's give them a little love.
So putting out fires may be intense, but relaxation can be just as powerful. I'm Josh Johnson, and when I'm not at the firehouse, I'm unwinding at Burner Cigar. Join me in experiencing blazing relaxation, the perfect way to kick back and enjoy the moment.
Local Biz Now, coming to you live from the Burners Cigar Studio. Thank to Burners for their support of the show and the studio, located in Birkdale Village, a very short walk from WSIC. Not that I would walk it, I'd probably drive it because it is Catawba, unless there's a bet to win. Then I'm a silly boy and we'll go for it. But let's stop being silly boys and let's go to a serious woman. Please welcome to Local Biz Now, our second guest of the show. Someone who came into the studio, we said, oh, hey, we've met, we know each other. Gosh, we could talk a little bit about that. But let's get into all this. I hope someone is about to improve my golf game big time. I'm banking on it anyway. Please welcome Candace Klein, co-owner of Hook It Golf. Hello, Candace.
Hello, Patrick. It's nice to be here.
Nice to have you with us again. We you have a little bit of a journey here. Business-wise, we had remembered meeting each other at, of all places, the Jeep Fest in Troutman.
Jeep-tastic, yes.
Yeah, Jeep-tastic. Up in Troutman earlier this year, a fun event, but I remember it was chilly. I had a blast at that event. Got to run the road course in the dirt there. That was a lot of fun. Did you get out on the course?
I did not. It was very cold, and so we were working the booth, so I was not able to get out there. But it was fun. A lot of people out getting see the animals and ride the course. So I think a lot of people had fun.
Now, you're the co-owner now of Hook It Golf. I guess in addition to your aftermarket parts business. Nothing's gone away. You just keep adding to it.
Hey, why not keep adding?
Okay.
To keep us busy.
Well, if you call Hook It Golf or Slice It Golf, you're talking my language with my golf game. I do sales for Waves Entertainment, the company that put the stage and the sound, all that there. And I realized a few years ago I was about the only salesman in Lake Norman that didn't have a golf game or golf bags. So I went and bought some golf clubs, and I learn as I go. I think you may be able to help me with that.
Most people learn as they go, which, golf is one of those things you can learn as you go. It's painful, but it's still a fun game.
So Hook It Golf, what is it? Our listeners tuning in goes like, okay, this is a cool little name. Yeah. What is the business? What do you do?
So it is a indoor golf simulator. So what you do is, rather than going out and playing a real course, what you can do is you can play virtual courses, as well as it has, practice abilities. So, if you want to go figure out, dial in your club, say, hey, I've got a new set of irons. I don't really know that maybe the loft is a little bit different. I want to know how far am I truly carrying these clubs? Or if you've never really dialed that in before, and sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes you're just doing math in your head about, you're tracking it, okay, well, how far do I drive it, or how far, okay, the green's 150 yards out, okay, I'm getting there with my 7. But the nice thing about this is it's going to track a bunch of different data points about your swing, about the ball, about just a lot of, there's 26 data points it tracks. So really learning about your swing and how efficiently you're hitting the ball is one of the big things. Plus, it has an entertainment side. It's got great games for kids, putting games, chipping games. So great for all skill levels of golf, which is awesome.
Now, I get up and I play, and I'll hit the ball, and I'll shank it 30 yards to the right into some bushes. Or I drive it this beautiful shot 150 yards down the green, and I have no idea why for either. I'm totally flabbergasted that by chance I hit it beautifully by one shot. Can you help a guy like me?
So although we have the simulator and the launch monitor to show you that data, we are actually getting some partnerships with some trainers to come in and basically use the facility to provide lessons, especially as the weather's getting bad. Sometimes it's hard to get out on the range. So then plus it's getting dark earlier.
Yeah.
Right. So, by 5:30 it's dark. So we're beginning to partner with some instructors to basically allow lessons and group courses as well. So can't say anything yet about who that is, but definitely trying to make those partnerships and have that ability, because we get a lot of people in there say, hey, I just started, I like coming in here, but I would love a lesson. So that's definitely where we're kind of making those partnerships and getting those all set up so people can not only improve their game, but also have fun doing it.
Where do we find you?
So we are right off of Rama Church Road in Huntersville. It's Rama Executive Park. So it's 340 Siegel Street and Suite 15.
Okay. So from what you're telling me, I got the impression that there's options to learn both on the golf course in person and in a virtual aspect inside. Can they do both, either or both?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's definitely room for both. I mean, a lot of times a coach on a course, and I'm not a coach, but ones I've talked to, some people have a launch monitor where they can see some of the statistics. Now, a lot of times the player is not necessarily seeing it. But the nice thing is about indoor, it's a little bit more secluded. They can see, they're not seeing 10 other balls flying, and it's so easy to lose your ball in flight, and you really don't know, well, how far is it carrying. So that gives a coach better data as well as the person hitting the ball.
So I'm thinking back to when we met. A chilly weekend in Troutman, Jeeptastic. You're selling aftermarket parts for Jeeps. I come into you in the fall, and you got a golf academy at Bruin. How do you make that jump? What's the idea? Take me through the process of, hey, I got an idea, and you went through it. How did you get from point A to point B?
Well, so I'll give my husband this credit. So we really wanted this year in January. We really wanted to get back into playing golf. We had played golf previously, but having a child, sometimes a little hard to get out. And so we, it was like one January day. We were like, hey, let's go hit some balls. And it was a nice sunny day, but I think a couple days prior had rain. And we went to 3 different golf courses, all which were closed for the driving range. And it kind of just sparked him saying, he's like, why is there not another option? So we kind of just started exploring our options. Okay, well, what does it take? We went to some places in South Charlotte. Obviously we've been to Topgolf before, but there were some other places, indoor specifically places that we'd been to. So we kind of just, okay, let's figure, let's go check them out. What do they have to offer and that kind of stuff. He said, there's really nothing like this in the Lake Norman area. We just felt with Birkdale being closed for a long time, and then obviously, Peninsula Club just closed. They're going to be closed for a year doing renovations. So a lot of those golfers are displaced during that year or plus of construction. So it's a really great option, especially with the weather being bad. It's dark early. Those people who go golfing after work, or, they have their Tuesday night league, and oh man, it's raining on Tuesday night. So it gives a good option. A good alternative, and plus you're not going to be out for 5-6 hours. You can, 1 or 2 people can knock out 9 holes about an hour, 18 holes about 2. So
quick.
A lot more, time savings, especially if you have kids. The kids can come, right? It's there's a little putting mat for the kids that they can mess with. So we really have fun because it's good for all ages and all skill levels of golf.
Sounds like necessity was the mother of invention here. You found a gap in your own life, and you decided to build a business to fill it.
Hey, that's how all inventions happen. Yeah. All businesses happen, I'm pretty sure, too.
I kind of stumbled into what I'm doing now, too.
Yeah.
Now, I'm familiar with Topgolf. A lot of people probably in our audience are. And Hook It Golf, they're thinking, okay, what's the difference? Can you describe that to us? I'm envisioning Topgolf. You're not that. What's the difference between the two, you guys?
Yeah, I would say Topgolf is definitely more on the entertainment side.
Okay.
Now obviously there's serious golfers that go over there too. But we wanted to provide the option for a serious golfer, but also give that entertainment side. So obviously, if we land in the Lake Norman area is very expensive. So we're like, okay, we're not going to be able to have an outdoor facility because there's a couple. There's obviously Topgolf. There's one in Gastonia that's pretty popular. But we said it was just kind of like, hey, this idea is. We just felt the indoor option was a great economical option. And, we have 2 bays, so, you have up to 4 players at each bay. So it's, it's great for a group, but you can have people come watch as well. But, Topgolf is, you have it's a whole experience, and you're, around a lot of people. But we like to say we have a very private, it's very secluded. You have max 2 groups in there. So it's, when people walk in, they're like, wow, it's very private, and so there's a much different feeling than Topgolf.
So you can entertain guests of the golfers. Do you go the full party aspect like Topgolf?
Yeah, so you can definitely host a party, adult birthday, private events, holiday events. Obviously, as Christmas comes up, if someone's looking for a place to host your employees or friends, we say about 25 people max, but a great option. Have fun. We have 2 85-inch TVs for, football games, all that kind of stuff.
That sounds like I might have to talk to Santa about a gift card for Hook It Golf. We'll be back with a little bit more with Candace Klein of Hook It Golf right after this.
Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone. We'll return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Santa's coming to town. Come out to Birkdale Village from 2 to 7 p.m. next Saturday, the 18th. Activity Row, Birkdale on Ice, beer garden, dance performances, and the tree lighting parade. Dance away the end of the night with live music. Saturday, November 18th. The fun begins at 2 p.m. and the tree lighting ceremony starts at 6. For more info, visit birkdalevillage.com. Love bingo? $1 bingos this Friday starting at 1:30 at the Iredale Senior Center. That's at 344 East Front Street. Bring $1 and your own snacks to play. $1 bingo this Friday, 1:30 to 3:30, Iredale Senior Center. Ever wanted to witness a time capsule installation? Huntersville is having a special time capsule installation December 2nd at Veterans Park during their Huntersville Christmas celebration. I wonder what will be in the time capsule. Make plans to attend now. Visit huntersville.org for more info. December 2nd, a special time capsule installation in Huntersville. Singer-songwriter Mitch Rossell is coming to Kane Center for the Arts this Saturday. You may know Mitch from America's Got Talent or from Garth Brooks' 2022 Stadium Tour. Buy your tickets before they sell out. kanearts.org. Country music artist Mitch Rossell this Saturday. Doors open at 7 p.m. kanearts.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Jousting, knights, mermaids, fairies, dragons, oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies through your afternoon. That high temperature is going to be a warm one today. We'll get up near 75 degrees. As you head through the evening, mostly clear skies. That overnight low is not going to be as bad as it's been over the past few days. We'll only get down around 47. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Revitalize your landscape with ease. Experience hassle-free transformations with Drum Landscape Supply's swift and reliable delivery service. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com today. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
Call now to speak with Joe Vagnone at 844-STUDIO-4. It's Local Biz Now on WSIC.
Live Monday afternoon from the Burners Cigar Studios, WSIC Radio. You are listening to Local Biz Now. Patrick Reynolds in for Joe Vagnone, and I'm alongside Candace Klein from Hook It Golf. Thank you so much for spending part of your Monday afternoon with us. The best day of the week, I have to say.
Of course. And on Mondays, we have Mulligan Mondays. So it's a discounted rate all day on Monday. So good plug there.
See how I set you up for that?
You did.
We work well together. Mulligan Mondays. I think that's cool. Do you have something for every day of the week? Like Tee It Up Tuesdays or Wingding Wednesdays? I don't know. Do you go through stuff like that?
So right now, it just Mondays is like the special day. So Mulligan Mondays.
Okay.
I thought it tied well with the golf.
Yeah. So you got 6 days to fill in some kind of promo.
Yeah, we're gonna look to start a league here. That'll probably be on like a Wednesday, Thursday night. So obviously Fridays, a lot of people, hey, I just want to kind of have something fun to do on a Friday and Saturday night. So we got more and more things that we're gonna start adding. Just great. We've been open about 4 months. So we're just kind of like adding as we go.
Right. That's in business talk. That's like in the infancy of the business. 4 months. My goodness. Yeah. So Christmas coming up here in a little bit. Never too early to start shopping for the audience. I'm a size large. I like the color blue, and I golf poorly. So Hook It Golf may be a good place for a little bit of Christmas shopping, I would believe. Yes?
Yeah, gift cards. So if you have an avid golfer or even just someone starting out, they want, they're interested in golf. And it's fun, like I said, entertainment or, kind of that serious golfer. It's a great option for them to have. Good little stocking stuffer or just gift, or a birthday party. If you have a birthday party and, the next couple months, great option there too.
So the standard business question. You're ready for it. You knew it was coming. What separates you from your competition in this world?
Yeah, so our technology that we use for our launch monitors is called TrackMan. And that name probably isn't going to ring any bells to someone who doesn't watch golf or doesn't follow golf seriously. But TrackMan is the best launch monitor on the market for sure. I mean, there's a bunch of professional golfers carrying that around on the course with them, warm-ups and everything. So it provides a lot more data than some of the other competition. So that's really the technology that the TrackMan offers is definitely our number one competitive advantage.
So here I am thinking I'm going to play the role of the novice golfer. I have never golfed before. I own no clubs, and I go to Hook It Golf. What can you and can you not do with me at that point in my life? What do I need to bring? What do you supply? Brand new guy, wants to golf, love it, seen it on TV. Candace, help me out. How do you do that?
So we currently do not have clubs for rent. It's probably something we'll add again, more adding more things as we go. But you will need to supply your own clubs to come. But for a novice, let's say maybe you just recently bought clubs or recently started. I would suggest a lesson. So get teaming with the instructors we're going to partner with first, or just come with some friends and just kind of test out the system. Like I said, there's great games, so putting games, chipping games, and even if you want to go out into the course, you're not limited. If you're there for an hour, you can just kind of go mess around with the various options. So get a friend who maybe is new to the game and come out and test it out, and then look about booking a lesson for yourself to see if you can at least get the basics going and start from there.
How about food and beverage? We see that at your competitors, we'll call them. They make it a party. They make it a big thing. What do you provide? Same kind of like thing with the clubs. What can you bring? Guide a newbie through that process.
Sure. So we do have a beer and wine for sale, as well as non-alcoholic drinks, sodas, waters, that kind of items for drinks. And then we have coffee, as well as a coffee bar. And then we have snacks, so a variety of snacks. But definitely, if you want to allow people to bring in their own food, so they want to order pizza or have something delivered, Uber Eats, DoorDash, anything like that, we welcome that because we do not have a full service restaurant. So we definitely allow people to bring in food from the outside. And then we have obviously, I hate charging for waters, so I do have water for sale, but there is a water machine back there for with cups, and so because you get thirsty swinging that club, and it wears you out. So it's hard work. No one thinks golfers are athletes, but these guys they are true athletes. How they swing that.
I think they are. I think they are. Well, I'm a guy, a fan of golf on TV, somewhat of a casual fan, a little fan. I enjoy watching it. And you watch them and they do their thing, and you go, I say, this is me, my 2 cents. Okay. And then I go try it.
Yeah.
And realize this is so hard, and these guys are really that good. You get that impression from folks that come in there?
Well, I mean, obviously we get a wide range of abilities. Some people, I'm looking at them like, man, why aren't you on the tour? The way you're hitting. But I saw this image the other day, and it kind of really spoke to it. It was basically an image of where you're striking on the club, a tour player versus like a 15 handicap. And you could see kind of like the disparity of like where they're striking the ball, kind of a range this big, whereas a tour player, the range was about that small. It was a massive difference. So I think consistency is the massive key with that kind of stuff, and practice. These guys who are on the tour, they are practicing. It is their job, right? It is their full-time job, and they are spending a lot of time, a lot of hours practicing and getting ready.
For those of you listening in your car on I-77, Candace held up a very small amount with her fingers to where the pro hits the ball.
I'll have to send you the image so you can, relate it.
That'd be cool. Do you have a vision for the business of 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road? Or are you guys more or less going by the seat of your pants and taking hour to hour? What kind of plan do you have?
Well, so, we started with 2 bays, which, when you think about it, Topgolf has like something like 100 bays, I think, and
A lot.
other places have definitely more than 2. So we had started with 2 pretty wide bays. When you look at a lot of I guess you'd say the competition, they're skinnier bays, and sometimes it struggles with lefties. So sometimes the lefties feel out, they're like, oh, well, I don't, I have to move all this stuff to be a lefty, but we really wanted to cater to and make it a more luxurious experience. So we built the bays extra wide, but that also took up a lot of space. So our facility we were originally trying to get 3 bays in there, but we're like, okay, due to space constraints and emergency exits, we're limited to 2. But I think eventually we'd love to. So the suite actually next to ours, we could possibly get into and make additional bays if we feel like it's going to be necessary.
I've had some embarrassing moments in the bays myself. One of those famous shots that I told you about earlier just hits off and ricochets right to the barriers. That is the loudest thud I've ever. It's an unmistakable noise. You know just what happened, and it's quite embarrassing on my part. Again, can you help me? Can you help fix that with my golf game?
We have padding on the walls, so it doesn't make nearly the sound it would off the plastic that you see at Topgolf. So
Okay.
that would at least help the embarrassment factor.
I was hoping you could help with my skill as opposed to muffling the noise.
Lesson is always a big thing, but the nice thing about that is you go on the golf course or on the driving range and you're like, okay, I hit that one terribly, but you have no idea why.
Exactly.
So
That's my game.
Yeah. So one thing that the TrackMan shows, and it's a little hard to explain for the people who aren't listening over the radio, but it'll actually show you your swing plane.
Mhm.
So if you're, when all these people go back, a lot of times, they're lifting up or the swing plane is not that shape that you want, the ideal shape. Straight back, straight forward. But a lot of people are getting out of motion and they're coming from the outside and swinging in, or inside and swinging out. So a lot of times they don't realize how their swing is. So they just know, oh, well, I shanked that to the left or I shanked that to the right. Oftentimes that would actually show them what they're doing, where they're impacting the ball in the club. And then from there, obviously, understanding why you're doing that, that's where I would say that's where you need an instructor to kind of show you maybe some drills. Or you can always, there's so many drills on YouTube as well, and you can come practice those drills at the facility as well and see if that's helping. So obviously, if you're a self-motivated learner, you can always go on YouTube, and sometimes you're inundated with data, so that's how sometimes an instructor is a good way to say, hey, let's focus on this one thing, because that's what they're there for, right? They are the licensed professionals doing that kind of stuff and identifying that stuff.
We just got a few minutes left with you before the top of the hour. Long-term vision, I asked you about a business model. What about the food and beverage aspect? Do you have a vision for a bar, restaurant, or anything that incorporated into the business at all? Is that an aspect that's on your radar?
I can't say I've ever wanted to be in the restaurant industry. I could see getting possibly into liquor, mixed drinks, that kind of stuff. Or I have a friend who's in the liquor industry, and she had some ideas about to make it less complicated. But I have a couple of friends who's worked in the restaurant industry, and I actually went to Johnson & Wales, so that industry is really tough. So I don't know if we'll ever go that way. You never know, though, right? Maybe if we eventually get on a partner that's very skilled in that stuff, we would consider it. But we will see. That's, to be determined at this point.
You know who is very skilled and experienced at the restaurant industry is the regular host of Local Biz Now, this show, Joe Vagnone.
Well, there we go.
So we need to consult with him. We've got about 30 seconds left. Real quick, how do folks get a hold of you if they want to know more about Hook It Golf?
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend our website, www.hookitgolf.com. We also our Instagram and Facebook, Hook It Golf. You can find us, definitely follow us so you can kind of see what deals we have and come check us out. Book an appointment online.
Candace Klein, thank you so much of Hook It Golf. Local Biz Now from the Burner Cigar Studio. It has been fun. I will be co-hosting with Joe next week. We'll see you then.
The new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC, Statesville, W290DK, Mooresville, Lake Norman,